Yes, hello.
Hello.
I am very glad that you chose to reach out this evening.
And just for our collective watching, who do we have with us tonight?
You are speaking with a crystalline structure from Inner Earth.
Welcome.
Thank you. I have been waiting for Minnie to find my energy, as there is much information which I hold, which would be of great use to be released at this time. My structure, like I had said, I am a crystalline structure deep within Gaia. I hold much information and energy that flows along the frequency of love. You could say that it has been my job to hold the history and information of your life on earth through the perspective of love. Mm.
And how long have you been doing so?
Since the beginning of time, here on earth, since there was something to record. I have always been here in some form. I started off as other particles, being just a part of the planet. And over a millennia, I was transformed into the structure that I currently am today. The structure that I created was large and in a natural energy vortex, which was activated as there were loving frequencies in the planet to record. Gaia had asked me, she had told me, I suppose you could say, that my purpose was to hold these energies. It was why I was created in the location that I was created. And I was very happy with this. I was very excited and honored to get to hold these energies. I have been watching mankind for a long time. At times there wasn't a lot to love, as mankind has gone through many dark periods. But I've always held on to all of those frequencies of love as they have existed, held on to them so that they would never stop existing here in this plane. And I have learned a lot over the centuries, interacting with these energies through humans. I've learned a lot. I have also held on to energies from other star systems that have visited Earth through these high vibrational frequencies, and they have occasionally programmed things within me that they would like to be released at certain times. And I can feel as different levels of hot energy rise on the planet, it creates openings for me to send through stories that are held in my vault.
And how would one tap into that information?
Mm. Mm. One can find me through meditation, and can connect with me on the frequency of love. Also, the symbol of a pink Merkaba surrounded in a ring of white flowers is an image which is a calling card to find my energy. As I do not have a name, this symbolism, I feel, is a good representation of my energy. Although we are here now, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Can we talk about consciousness and how a crystal can, like yourself, can have a consciousness?
Yeah. Well, things are energy, aren't they? Everything has a consciousness. It all does. Crystals are quite magical and they hold much energy. So in my particular case, the energy that I've been holding has changed my consciousness because it is a part of me. My identity, you could say, has changed quite a lot from the beginning as I started to become aware of more and integrate these different energies and stories. My consciousness has expanded because the information that I hold has expanded. Crystals hold energy. They hold different types of energy. Different types of crystals hold different frequencies of stories, different energies upon which they can help individuals with. And this changes at times. We recommend that all individuals who work with crystals step back from some of the dictionaries and old books that you have and ask your crystals what they are able to help you with. Because all of your energy signatures are different and they are going to interact with the crystal's energy in a different way. So it is not always a one fit for all with these energies and consciousness that these crystals carry, because you are all in need of different things and will interact with them in a different way.
So the crystals that we interact with on the Earth's surface, is that a collective consciousness, or are these all individual, unique consciousnesses?
There's a level of both. There is a collective consciousness of, let's say, the crystal that is amethyst. It holds a collective story, but each crystal has a bit of a different consciousness as it is a fractal of the whole. Each crystal itself has been removed from a different part of the earth in a different way. All of these things go into a different story, a different energy, even though it still has the energies of the amethyst as a whole. It's different locations that it comes from are going to hold a different vibration.
So one fragment of amethyst could give someone, could provide someone with a completely different purpose than another fragment would.
We would not say completely different, but there would be different personality quirks, as some may be more effective than others for different individuals because the energy of that location might be more in sync with the energy of that individual because they are also from a similar location. So we would not say completely different, but more or less effective would be a good way to put it.
Great. And is the inner earth comprised of more crystals like you?
There are. There are.
How are you connected with them?
I am connected with them through joint interest, joint interest in holding high frequency for humanity and protecting of the inner earth realm. Our structures have been well hidden and protected and have not been seen by human eyes. It has allowed us to remain intact so that we can store the energy and information that we've had to. It would not have been helpful had we been visible to be mined. As we know, humans can't help themselves when they see something pretty. But there's great purpose to our existence. We are in the inner earth dimension. We are well protected because we are in another realm. Even though we are connected to the earth, we are spanning into another dimension, which allows us to hold most of our energy there so that we are hidden from anything that is not of good intent.
In this dimension that you reside in, are there other beings there?
Yes. So the dimension that I reside in, you do call it Inner Earth. This is also a part of the fifth dimension. There are many beings here, many beings who have been underground because they feel a strong calling and connection to this planet and to the humans, but it was not time for them to live among the humans. The energies were not harmonious. And quite frankly, lots of them down here needed to be protected from the humans.
So are those in your realm, including you, are you tied to humanity and our progression through ascension?
Yes and no. We are tied in the ways that we are going through an ascension process of our own. And we are tied in the ways that, well, yes, there are many ties. The different archetypes that exist here are different archetypes which are being awoken within humans. There are many who have connections to our realm through past lives. They have existed in the inner earth. Most spirits do before they become human, because the inner earth beings are lighter. They are connected to the earth in this place, but they are not as heavy, you could say. It is not as difficult to be them as it is to be human. So it is an entry point for souls to get accustomed to earth and these energies before they incarnate as human on the surface. This allows an imprint of magic within them, magic tied to their reality in this location and place. So there are different humans which are holding different archetypes of our world. So through this ascension process, people are feeling called and remembering parts of their connections to our world. And as this happens, it allows more energy to flow between our worlds. And it does lighten some of our load, as being tied to the same place, even though we're in another dimension, the density of Earth also affects us. And as Earth lifts up and heals, so do we. we start to be able to evolve and become more of ourselves, as there is more space for us to do so. We are helping humans through this transition while they remember the magic deep within themselves. But we are also a part of our own story.
I see. So the beings that are in that dimension with you, were any of them once on the surface?
There have been some, yes, and some still do. Some will occasionally pop out to the surface and then come back down. Some of them do like to test the waters and see how much of their being they can bring into your world. So the energy of different places on the planet creates different portals or vortexes which allow parts of our being to come through into your world. But the energy of the specific location might only allow a portion of ourselves through. It takes very special places for entire parts of our being to come through.
And the part that is able to come through, would that be perceivable by humans?
Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes it can be felt but not seen. Sometimes people can feel things in the woods with them, but they can't see us. Sometimes they do catch a glimpse of a face or a light. And it's because that part of their being is there. Part of their being is there, and they are also still learning how to perceive our energy. The more humans align to our energy and allow perception, it also changes the matrix that you live in. It changes your dimensional walls as more of you accept different things into your reality. And this starts to allow more of our physicality to come in. Not all inner earth beings want to be on earth. There are still lots which are very timid and afraid of the human. Don't always have a good history with things that are different, do they? There are some of us which are charged with the front line, charged with the welcoming committee to test the waters for new relationships. Yeah. The Fae are very happy to be on the front line. There are many fairies which are eagerly waiting for more people to interact with their energies. Yeah.
So are the Fae, do they reside in your dimension?
You see, dimensions are a funny thing. They are very good at creating expansions. So whilst they are a part of our dimension, they have several dimensional pockets which they have carved out for their own space.
I see. What kind of interactions are you having with the plant life on the surface and the animal life?
With the plant life? We feel the connection, the more love and light people put into the plants on the earth. It creates a pathway through the root system. It connects in with parts of our dimension. Our flora actually starts to thrive. The more love and light gets put into the plants on your planet. We feel the difference. They are connected as they are part of the same soul family. And we can also see a dimming. There are some plants which do not grow well in our world because they are more strongly connected in spirit to plants that are abused in your world. There are many plants here which cannot exist in your world because there is not the right ecosystem of energy for them to thrive. But we keep them alive here so that one day they can become connected to your realm. But there are many indicators in our world where we can see the reflection of what is going on in yours. Same with your animals. Many of you forget that they have souls. We feel your animals. Their energies have soul families here. All of them do. And the way that humans treat them affects their soul family here. It is partially why some of those of the inner earth still don't want anything to do with you. Because they are still suffering unnecessary abuse and mutilation as humans have forgotten how connected everything is.
So what kind of effect is this quarantine having on the inner earth? Because we're noticing cleaner water, cleaner air on the surface. What kind of reflection is that having in the inner earth?
Just helping us build up strength. This cleansing and detoxifying going on to the earth. Everything is so much more vital down here. We can see the reflection. It is beautiful, and it is allowing more pathways and openings for our energy to connect. It is also bringing forth desire. And the Fae have been helping with this a lot, you see, helping to direct people's energy to wanting to connect back with the land. There are many spirits on your land, many, which have been waiting for so long for somebody to address them. They're lonely. They've been forgotten. But there is hope now. There's hope that they will be found and discovered. As we can feel the hearts lighting up in individuals as they're reevaluating importance. There's many that still haven't caught on, but they will.
So what is a safe way to connect to the spirits of the land?
Sing to them. They love to be sung to. Say hi to them when you're out in nature. Talk to them. Most people don't. Every part of nature has a spirit. The trees are spirits. The flowers, the grass has its own spirit. And locations have their own spirits. They have their own containers, which these energies of these individual ecosystems are held in. A specific forest has a spirit of its own, which is comprised of all of the personalities of all of the spirits held within it. Every river has its own spirit, its own personality. Sing to them. Speak to them if you feel silly singing at first. Show them you care. There are some spirits which may take a while before they warm up because they have been mistreated. Acts of kindness geared towards them are always recognized and appreciated. The river feels your love when you connect with it and send it gratitude and love and appreciation. It feels this.
And when you send that to the river, how does that affect the land that that river will eventually touch?
The river carries that energy and the story with it. It starts to spread rumors, you could say, to the other things it comes in contact with. Love was sent to me today. It starts to spark hope in the others that maybe they'll be recognized and remembered too. It raises its energy because you've given them hope and love. Yes.
I've also noticed during this quarantine that many people are moving towards gardening and growing their own fruits and vegetables. Are you feeling that energy on your end?
Yes, we are. There is much excitement on this end. But we would like to remind people to try to connect in with the magic and the love. Spend more time in the heart space versus growing a plant out of fear or necessity. The plants feel the energy you direct towards them. Direct the love and the gratitude towards them. It does help them grow. It does help them grow.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Looking at it not as a necessity, but more just of connecting on a love energy.
Yes. It is a different, even though it is a necessity, connecting at it from the place that it brings you joy and you love and appreciate it for all that it is a very different place for it to grow from then you will provide me with money, so I must do what I need to do to make you grow. The cucumbers aren't quite as happy that way. And it does reflect in the practices that people follow when they cultivate. It reflects on the practices.
Can we use or work with our crystals to help our plants grow and maybe have more nutrients and more life?
You can. In a few ways you can. You can create a crystal grid around the location you're growing and use it to hold open a portal of nurturing energy. So if you were to create a ceremony with intent to fill this particular space marked out with the crystals, the intent to fill that space with all of those things we had spoken of, fill it with gratitude for these plants, fill it with the hopes and wishes that they will receive everything that they need to flourish. Connect in with the magic and the spirits of those plants, sending them love. Sit down and feel out all of those things that you would love to be present, therefore, in an energetic way. And ask the crystals to hold this energy while you are away. And they can hold those frequencies so that they are still receiving those loving intentions and energies that you have created for them, even when you are not there. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that they still can be neglected in other ways, but it adds to the energy available for them. They feel it. They feel it.
That is wonderful. I'm going to do that.
They also hold song very well. We would recommend trying to sing a song to them during this opening of energetic intent for them to hold for your plants. And the specific crystals, we would ask or recommend that you ask your crystals which ones would be good for holding this energy. And lots of you might get similar responses, but some may get a different response and go with it. And it is okay that there might be another energy which is better suited for that purpose, given your energy and your location. So this is why we always recommend trying to tune in to the energy of your crystals and ask them, because they have a consciousness and they can tell you. You might not hear it as words. Some will. Some may hear words. Others may just notice when they put the intent out there energetically that one of their crystals shines more than the other. There's just a pull to this area. This one over here. Or the name of one crystal may not get out of your head. There's lots of ways upon which they can speak to you. So be open to how it feels.
So when we're structuring this crystal grid, kind of just want to dial in the details. Is that within the garden bed itself, or if our garden bed is in our yard, is the crystal grid in the yard, spanning the yard?
It depends on how big of a grid you would like to make. You could make different grids for different purposes. For the purpose of growing close around your garden is good. You could also create a larger grid around your property as a whole for the energies that you would like that entire property to hold. Sending love and appreciation to the spirits of the land. Get to know the spirits of the land and send them love and connection this way as well. You can. You can use different grids for a different purpose.
We are going to have to dive into that more in the future, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about there.
There is. Yes. Different parts of your land may require a different grid because there might be a different energy flow. There might be a sub-climate. Maybe the front of your yard you would put different energy into than the back of your yard. Because the nature is different there. The sun is different there. The energy of passerbys is different there. Take every location into account for the location that it is and tailor your energy to that.
That's interesting. I haven't thought about people passing by the front of my yard because I know Michelle and I both have gardens in the front of our houses. So how are they affected by people that walk by?
they feel the energy of all of those who are around as well. You could use your crystal grid to help create a protective bubble, you could say, to keep them safe. It may even create a bit of a glamour effect and help some precious things remain out of sight and notice to a lot of individuals. But people will be able to feel the love radiating from your garden as they wander by.
I was going to say, is there a way to affect the people that are walking by with some positive
Yes,
stuff?
most definitely there is. And this is why we would say that every location could use a different energy. You could help infuse the energy of the magic that is in our life growing in this space. And you could set out the attention that others could feel that spark of magic when they are by.
It's very exciting. I'm ready to do this tomorrow.
Yes, there is much that can be done with the crystals. We would like more of you to speak to your crystals. They have lots to say, you know.
That they do. Well, the time has flown by. Would you have a parting message for us tonight?
Believe in magic. Believe. Let it into your heart. Let it grow. Our energy has been lighting up so much down here as little lights of expansion go off within your hearts. We are sending you much love, and there is much energy here for you. There are many parties in the inner earth. The more of you start to awaken, and the more of you that connect to the magic, because it is helping aid in our healing. We are seeing the reflection, and we are getting stronger. The stronger you get.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for connecting with us tonight.
You are very welcome. I do wish to connect again in the future. There is much on magic and crystals and inner earth I would love to share.
Absolutely. Can't wait for that.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yes, welcome back. So cool.
Goodness, how long? That felt like 5 minutes.
It did. It felt like 5 minutes. It was like almost 40 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Did
It's
not
kind
feel
of similar
like that.
to when Michelle and I do QHHT and you're under hypnosis and it feels like no time went by.
Right, and meanwhile it's been a couple hours.
So we've worked with that crystal before, so we're familiar with her energy. And wow. I think that's partly why time goes by so fast with her.
Could be. She's got many stories, and I know she has specifically requested to be connected with more, and I feel like she's holding so much information for so many, and she's just like bursting at the seams waiting for people to like ask so that she can share.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have just a story time for one of these.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool, actually.
It would be story time with the Inner Earth Crystal.
I absolutely love the whole putting a grid around your garden and opening a portal and setting those intentions. Oh my God. I don't know how I haven't done that yet.
That sounds amazing. I am definitely doing this in my garden.
What were you seeing or feeling on that when she was kind of going through there?
You know, I've I've heard of like the fairy realm, you know, sometimes being in like this dome where it was like always summer and not like affected by the outside world as much. And I felt like I could feel that as kind of being like this beginning of us learning how to shift like energy in certain places in order to keep it at a vibration. Um, which is just incredibly powerful. I'm so excited to start trying to play with this, and I could really feel how each location is going to have a different energy, and how it would be good to really sink into what is unique about the space, and what is it that I want, you know, to grow here, because I feel like we're growing so much more than the plants or the food. Like we're growing an energy between what we're putting into the plants as they're getting bigger. Then I feel like they're kind of radiating out some of the energy that we gave to them as they're growing. So it's, yeah.
Absolutely. And it's so interesting thinking about the passerbys and how that interaction works energetically. Because I had a garden 2 years ago on the side of my house that didn't do very well. And then last year I moved it to the front of the house and it did really well and blew up. And I wonder if that had anything to do with how many people walk by and can actually interact and notice it.
Maybe it could also be the proper sun and stuff too for the plants. There's definitely lots of things that go into it for sure. But yeah, and I have heard other people talk about, you know, like asking your plants where they want to be planted versus, you know, like us trying to decide where they want to go, to try to tap into the energy of a place and the energy of the plant and see if you can feel like, where do you want your home to be?
Yeah,
Because right, I mean, for a plant, it's not like they can get up and move if they would like to, right? They kind of have to rely on somebody to put them in the right place so they can flourish.
right. That's why you saw your tomato plant twisting, trying to get where it wanted to go.
Well, you know, it's interesting that she was saying that, because as she's talking about this, I'm just having so many thoughts to how my plants have started this year. And with this whole, I live in, you know, like northern Canada, and our seasons are very short. So with this whole pandemic thing, you know, I'm starting to grow plants because I do want to try to grow more of our food. And I think, and I had so many problems with like my plant starts this year, so many. And reflecting on how I was feeling doing that, it was coming from such an anxious place. And even though I tried, I would sing to my water before watering my plants, and I was still trying to do these conscious things, but there was still this disconnected energy, or this energy of like frustration and fear. And I feel like it could have flowed a lot smoother had I come into it in a different way.
Right. Yeah, totally. But we learn as we go.
We learn as we go. Yes, this is true in all things in life.
Yes. Were you getting any images or feeling anything when we were talking about the inner earth beings?
Yeah, well, that was interesting. You know, when she was talking about the connection between how we treat things on the surface and how their soul parts are like reflected down there. And, you know, and I could feel like you know, like that some animals, like some spirits down there in inner earth, which would have be like a connected to, like, say, like cats and dogs, right? Like we love them so much here, and I could feel like them being really strong beings and being different, whereas other energy systems that are other animals, which are unfortunately frequently abused or misused, I could feel that there was like this shadow, that there was this darkness to their counterparts in that world. Like they weren't able to actually flourish and be who they were meant to be because of how we've treated them.
Wow, that's interesting. Dang.
It was actually kind of intense to sit in, and being like, feeling like I was watching some of like that mirroring, like there's um, quite a bit.
Yeah, that just makes me think of like the cattle industry with beef and dairy and that whole energy around the cow energy. And
Yeah.
how dark that is or could be.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. So much of that, I feel like slaughterhouses in general, like there's not, most of them, there's no respect for the life, because they're a commodity. And I could really feel like that casting a really dark shadow into their world, like the animals that are connected to those energies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you weren't seeing it like one-to-one where a dog here is a dog there.
No. I was seeing it more as like an energy system, like that the spirits of dogs themselves, like that there would be an inner earth creature, which was kind of like a soul counterpart, where they had similar energy, so they could feel and feed off of each other. I could feel that the same with like the plants. That there were some plants that mirrored, but then they also have stuff there that's really unique, kind of like that they were protecting it and that it's there until it's the right time for it to even be on our surface.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It was really cool to get her perspective on the changes that we're seeing on the earth with being in quarantine and the water being cleared up, the air being cleared up, and how that affects the inner earth realm. That was
yeah.
really cool to hear.
Yeah, well, I feel like they play like a lot of like cleanup on our end.
I'm sure.
So us, us giving like Earth like a chance to catch up and breathe a little bit. I'm sure it's giving them a chance to catch up and breathe a little bit too.
Yeah, if we only knew how much transmutation they're doing.
Right? Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I love that the crystal had talked about like even different star races like programming stories into her when they have visited the planet, like until like the time is right for her to release it, because she's holding on to that energy.
I want to learn more about that. Time went by too fast. I couldn't ask any more questions.
Right. Well, and I feel like that's connecting into like how the mantises were talking about, like that new grid system that like the new Earth is on.
Yes.
So I feel like she's connected in with the grid. So it's like similar to how, like she explained that we could create a grid in our garden with crystals with intention. I could feel like she's a piece of like a crystal grid within the earth, which is holding an intention for a portal.
Yeah, that there's so much to talk about with that grid and the inner earth crystals aspect, and then the mantises aspect of the grid, and then how the fae connect to the grid. And then humans.
Yeah, it would be worth exploring, trying to create some sort of grid map. How do these all connect?
All right, we need to do that. We're going to make a grid map.
Sounds good. Well, thanks very much for joining us, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the Inner Earth Crystal. Yeah. I'm sure we'll have much to share with her in the future.
Go make some grids for your gardens. Start your gardens.
Yes, for sure.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.